Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
And today we got Eli P here.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
We got Funny Julius.
Hey.
And we are blessed with the presence of Miss Sarah. Hi, Sarah. So today, guys, we're going to go over the Notorious B.I.G's debut album, Ready to Die. Ready to Die was released in 1994, September 13th to be exact, and featured production from DJ Premier, Lord Finesse, Easy Moby. Of course, there's Diddy on the album all throughout, and it was a major debut for a lot of different reasons. This showed us Biggie's, introduced us to Biggie's storytelling abilities. His overall lyricism that he packed on this album was great. And I always said that on this album, like as you listen to it, it's kind of in sequence of how he developed as an MC. So I hold it in really high regard. What do you guys think of this album?
I love that at Biggie's age, we don't get rappers that are like that anymore. But I also know that back in the 90s, people looked older, right? So that was like a thing, which was something that really stood out to me. But like, you know, he had a unique voice. He was crowned the king of New York by the time he was 22 years old. Now, if a 22-year-old rapper, I know they were saying that about Pop Smoke, but I guess it's like blurred because I don't know if they're saying that because of the past or they really feel that way. So I can't really tell because, you know, he didn't get a chance to really bask in it. So we didn't get to like see how it was received. But Biggie didn't even coin himself the king of New York. Like the term was created for Biggie, King of New York. I've never heard a rapper heard of it being him being called the King of Rakim or LL Cool J or anybody else being called the King of New York. So that was like a really big thing to me, and I just felt like, damn. When I listened to this album, I'm like, all right. California had Doggy Style and The Chronic. In New York, we had Illmatic and Ready to Die. So those were the two albums that I feel like a lot of rappers from the East Coast listened to, and they were like, all right, I got to aspire to do that. And obviously, like the Tribe albums, right? But Biggie just kind of gave you a feeling, gave you like a sense of like pride and being proud. So I'm a pretty big Biggie fan, as you guys. Who's next?
I'm sorry, Julius. I want to hear what Sarah thinks next.
Love this album. I think it has a lot of really solid singles on it. But as far as listening to it beginning to end without skips, I would be lying if I said that that's what I did. So that's my hot take.
It really hurts my soul to hear that she's from Brownsville, y'all. Like, it really hurts me, really bad. It really hurts me, and I know.
Well, Biggie is not from Brownsville; he's from Bed-Stuy,
and neither is Jay-Z. He's not from Brownsville, but
I'm just saying, don't bring Brownsville.
All I'm saying is I just when you're from, I feel like, you know, like me, I'm from Harlem. Like, I'm crazy about Cameron. Mace can't tell me shit about those guys, man. But I get it, you know.
Nah, I hear you. I respect that.
I don't.
What were you gonna say?
So, because I'm, you know, the youngest person here, this was my first. This was my introduction to hip hop. This was the first, you know, rap album I've ever heard in my entire life at the age of 13. So this was an incredible album. I hold this album near and dear to my heart because I found this. I wasn't supposed to find this album. I only found this album because I was curious about the CDs hanging up by my aunt's TV. So I was like, you know what? Let me take this and let me listen to it. When I heard it, I was like, oh my God, they're cursing. Like, oh my God, they're really cursing in music. What? And then I heard the beats, and the beats sounded like stuff that I was used to, which was funk. So I was like, wow, like this is really, really cool. And then I got like straight to the end, like it made me want to like, listen to it again. And this was when it was like a CD. I had a CD player and I had my headphones, and I played this so much the CD got skipped. It had scratches on it. So I love this album. This album is a perfect album. This album is a classic, of course. And this was one of the greatest debut albums of all time. I say this is a top 5, top 10 greatest rap album ever, top 200 greatest musical album of all time.
I think you're just throwing numbers out there.
I always do.
Okay. All right, just for clarification.
Honest.
Eli, what was your thoughts on this one?
This is a classic album. This is a standard album to have in your collection. Like I wouldn't understand how somebody could listen to hip hop and just not be familiar with this album, or just not be familiar with anything from like just any of Biggie's work. My first introduction to this album was, I used to go to my cousin's house after school, and all she used to do was just listen to hip hop. Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie, Mary, a whole bunch of the greats back in the day. And this was just one of the albums, because she used to have this big ass poster in her room, and I used to look up to my cousin because I thought she was like one of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. So she put me onto Biggie. She put me onto a couple of other joints. She put me onto that Wu-Tang Forever album. Yeah, man, this is just a standard classic album in hip hop. Like overall, it's everything you could possibly want. Storytelling, girl records, aggressive, hardcore, beat the shit out of you, rob you, steal, all that shit. It's perfect. It's a cinematic fucking. It's perfect. I don't know what else to tell you. It's fucking perfect.
Okay. So without further ado, we'll get into the album itself. So the album kicks off with a really, really cinematic intro that I really enjoy.
This was actually sampled from My Birth, but yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So I really enjoy this sample, or this intro rather, because I feel like with a lot of moments on this album, like I said in the beginning, like it takes you into Biggie's storytelling ability, and I feel like if he was still around, he would be producing or doing some type of involvement in movies. I feel like this is like telling of that.
Yeah. Why Hitchcock? He was able to paint a picture and really like set up things for you, like to prepare you like what you're about to listen to and hear. And on this was basically him telling his origin story. Like when you're like writing something, you have the hero, you have the antagonist. So Biggie's the hero in this story, and he's basically telling you like, yo, I'm coming to the world, like here I am, like. And I thought it was really dope that the samples that they use. So they use Rapper's Delight, they use Superfly, and then they use Top Billin' by Audio 2. And it kind of like, because those songs were two, Rapper's Delight and Superfly was something that was probably like really prominent during his childhood. So I think it's just really dope, like what he was able to do. And I'm pretty sure that was more like Puff's touch, but knowing Puff, like he probably was like, yo, what year were you born? And took it from there and was able to do that. So I just think that was really cool.
Exactly, yeah. And I think Puff, I think Big might have came in with some really raw ideas, and Puff helped him streamline it and into it. And I think that's why they really work together well. But if you guys didn't have anything else on the intro, we'll move right into the next track, which is Things Done Change, which is produced by Darnell Scott. Another really, really special one on this album, and a great lead-in, because the first track already drives home the fact that, it gives you that back in the day vibe. And then this one kind of reinstills that, because it's like, you know, it takes you into the vibe of like, this is where we are now. Like, this is where we were, this is where we are now. Classic.
My mama got cancer in the breast. Don't ask me why I'm stressed. Yo.
That line is jarring.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell that it was really taking a toll on him. And mind you, when he was recording this album, he was 21, 20. So he's already come into his own and like stressing, because throughout the album, the recurring theme is he's trying to figure out a way to take care of his daughter Tiana, make a living for himself, and take care of his moms. So he had that mentality where he wanted to be the man in his family, and his father wasn't around, so that very much so was his role. So he wanted to be able to do that, and his mom being sick probably just put more stress on him, because he was like, yo, she ain't gonna make it. I'm only 20-something years old. Like, I need my mom to be around because I'm gonna be a success. So I think that was really, really, you know, it was very like telling, like him telling the story and this, like how his neighborhood looks to shit. Like how, you know, when he was younger, well, in interviews, he told the story like how it was a nice neighborhood when him and his mom first moved there. And as he, you know, grew into a teenager, it became, you know, it was ravaged by the crack era. And his neighborhood became really, really, really dangerous. And he had to conform. He went from being a nice Catholic school going kid to being a street nigga. And he had to change, and he had to do what he felt that he had to do to provide for his family. And then he realized that rap was the only way out.
I remember, you got to remember MTV Diary? Not Diary, MTV Driven, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember Driven.
Something like that. I know it was one of those specials, and his mom was on there, Miss Valletta Wallace, and she was on there, and she was talking about how when she first heard this song, like the impact that it had on her, because around that time, like, you know, Biggie doing music was just foreign to her. Like, didn't take rap seriously, but then she started hearing the stories that he was telling and how personal they were. And I remember this being one of those songs that like impacted her, because he was able to reflect on how her having cancer was affecting him. So that was like her first time hearing that, because he wasn't like so transparent with her about how it made him feel.
Right.
That was a big track for them. What's next? We got Give Me the Loot next. What's up?
Before then, I just want to say the third verse is incredible. The third verse is very, very incredible. One of the greatest bars in here is either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. That literally described the 90s. And that literally describes just life. You can either sell drugs in the hood or you can shoot hoops in the hood. It's either one or two ways out. And it was an incredible bar by him. Next.
Agreed. Yeah, so the next song is Give Me the Loot. Give Me the Loot is produced by Easy Moby, and it's easily one of my, I'll say, top 3 favorite songs on this album.
Absolutely.
And the way Biggie is able to like tell this story of like, it's so solid. This is a solid 3. Like, we're in here. This is a solid 3rd song. Just him, the voice is like, it's not like the most like indescribable voice. Like, it's pretty easy, but it's like the fact that he's able to be creative enough to tell this story and tell it from 2 different perspectives, I always thought was so fire.
I love the fact that he was able to do this. And again, he's 22 years old. He has a 10th grade education.
Yeah.
How is Biggie aware enough to play 2 characters and know how to set the dialogue in a rap song?
But who did it better?
I'm sorry, Bedtime Story is amazing. We're not gonna do that.
Bedtime Story is amazing, but it don't hold a candle to nothing that Biggie's ever done.
We're not talking about his whole catalog. We're talking to Give Me the Loot.
Nah, I'll walk that back. I'll backpedal on that. She's right.
She's 100% right. So I wasn't saying. Okay, so let me clarify.
I said it. So I made the mistake, and I said it because it didn't come to my mind immediately, because maybe we need to do that for another episode soon. I didn't think about the Great Adventures of Slick Rick and his storytelling ability.
Yeah, he kind of pioneered that.
All right, Sarah, you got that. My bad. I got checked, y'all.
But what you call it? I think I admired it when Biggie did it because, I mean, obviously when Slick Rick did it, it was dope. But I admired it when Biggie did it because it was a darker element to it. Like this was on some like real robbery, like real shit that like I wasn't supposed to be listening to.
This shit is great. Goodness gracious, where the cash at? Where the stash at? Woo! Boy, bro, his cadence and aggression on this song is perfect, bro.
Well, that's what makes it go so hard at parties. Even though the subject matter is so abrasive, like
Biggie got the itchy one grip.
With this song at parties when it plays.
Oh, y'all want the samples? I had a feeling that Rob would drop the ball today. So here I am. Samples for it are Just Get the Rep by
Taurian Digital.
Yeah, Taurian Digital, yeah. Throw Your Guns by Onyx. Scenario by Tribe Called Quest. And
wow.
And Singing in the Morning, but I don't know who is the person that sang that
song. Oh shit. Damn.
Yeah.
So what is that, like 4 or 5 samples?
That's four samples.
Dang.
So
wow.
Yes. But nah, Biggie, he was a rap outfit Hitchcock. Like he was able to really paint pictures and tell ghetto tales very, very well.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one though, Reg.
I got you right now. So next track is Machine Gun Funk.
I live for the funk. I die for. Come on, man. We don't need to do this. This is written in the books already, bro. Come on, why? It's redundant.
You done? You done?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
By DJ Mr. C, Diddy, and Easy Moby, of course.
I thought that Biggie on Machine Gun Funk, Biggie, what he did was he married two things. He was saying like, yo, I'm a gun-toting street nigga, and I am going to smoke anybody that's to me rapping. So Machine Gun Funk was a metaphor for both. Like he was basically saying like, in the streets, I'm that nigga, and on the mic, I'm that nigga. And I thought it was beautiful how he was able to marry both together. I love
back then and to this very day. I don't think there's any rapper that could really go toe to toe with Biggie.
Okay,
ain't that crazy? Yeah. That like, because I come to that realization a lot. Like even just revisiting this album for this, like his cadence was so ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Like, listening to it, none of his shit sounds dated. None of it sounds dated. Like the pockets that he's able to hit so effortlessly, like niggas is not doing that. Like, and he's doing it so clear and like pristine. Like it's so good. Like only 2 albums in, for Big to only be 2 albums in, it like his development was just crazy. And you look at the gap of time. This was 94. Life After Death came out in 97. So like, and in between that time, he was still making music. Mm-hmm. So the development is just crazy. Jules, you had something on Machine Gun Funk?
That instrumental is amazing.
Yo, when I heard this is what really got me like really excited about hearing this album for the first time ever. When I was 13, 14, I was like, wow, this beat is amazing. And then I started like listening to the lyrics, and like at that time I was like, this made me want to like write poetry about what I've heard and what I've seen.
Yo, and that's literally what Biggie's bars are. It's almost poetry. It's almost poetic how he attacks these records and how his cadence and how he just uses his words and his metaphors and the word choices that he uses.
And it just so happens to be over an amazing beat. So this is like really
one of the best beats on the album.
So I have the sample.
Go for Tory Digital.
Chief Rocker by Lord of the Underground. And
that's a great album, by the way.
Yeah, amazing. And it was really good. And I have one thing to just circle back to as well. A lot of people don't know this, but Suge Knight cleared the sample for, what's the name of the song again? And it's called Little Ghetto Boy by Daz and Dr. Dre. And he's cleared that sample for On Things Done Changed. Obviously in 94, like I said, the West Coast G-Funk sound was taking over. And at this time, like Puffy and Suge Knight were cool. Like everybody was cool at this time. and a lot of people were using a lot of Death Row samples that Dre used. Yeah, or people were like flipping a lot of beats that other artists used, and there was nothing to like play a sample because even though they were making a lot of money, it's not like how it is now where it's so much money where like they making you jump through hoops to get a sample cleared. But that was just a testament of like how like weird things went within like a matter of months. Like it went from Suge Knight clearing samples and actually not asking for a dime to
Give me my money. Like we beefing on my
producers dancing in the videos. Like
that's because but if you look at it, that's because they became competition, like and not even just subtle competition. Like Bad Boy was everywhere.
Right. Yeah. And you wanna know another thing that I think about that's weird? So Above the Rim was filmed in New York and they asked Suge Knight to score the movie and do the soundtrack. I thought that was weird as well. Like why didn't they get fucked?
I didn't even know that.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Well,
that is weird.
Well,
it's because of Pac's involvement.
Pac wasn't signed to Suge Knight at that time. He wasn't signed to Death Row when they made Above the Rim.
Oh.
This was before Pac went to jail.
Okay.
Pac and Suge Knight became friendly off of the strength of that, and that's why Pac trusted him because Suge Knight made so many things happen. He was just giving Pac like bundles of money, so that's why Pac signed with Suge Knight with no issue and wrote for him because he was just loyal to him. But no, like Pac and Suge Knight had no affiliation at this time. Can
you imagine if Pac went to Bad Boy?
Man, it would be completely Bad Boy. Bad Boy would be the Def Jam of hip hop. Would be the guy Def Jam out of here.
And maybe they'd both be alive.
Not even a maybe. They absolutely both will be alive. One of them will be in jail probably, though, unfortunately.
We know which one.
What you think? You think Pac will be in jail?
Pac will be in jail.
Yeah, you know Biggie. It wouldn't have been Biggie.
Nah, Pac would have been in jail. Pac would have been in jail. Pac was out on bail when he was recording all that music.
What do you think that's well, should we save that for the end? Like just the overall recap, or we should
just say it. What's up?
Well, no, I was just kind of curious, like what type of roles would they be playing? Like would because like to point out what Reggie said earlier, would he be rapping still, or would he be producing? Would he be managing?
Who, Biggie or Pac?
Yeah, like one of them.
Pac will be in jail. Biggie will be produced. Biggie will be like how Fat Joe is now. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I say that because
Biggie with a podcast.
Me knowing.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Biggie with a podcast would be lit.
Me loving Biggie as much as I do and knowing the things I know about him, Biggie took a really long time to record music. That's why Life After Death came out 3 years later. Life After Death was supposed to come out in '96. Biggie took Biggie got writer's block and like he just took his time because he was broke, so he was actually taking in all of like his stardom and everything like that to record that album. But and that's why Life After Death was a double disc because they had took all the music that he recorded within 3 years and they put it on the album. And there still was some songs left on the cutting room floor, but Biggie kind of didn't waste his raps. If you've seen any of Biggie's freestyles, all of his freestyles are used on his albums. So like Biggie used to be like, "Yo, I'm a rap, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna use this shit again for the album." Like Biggie didn't like to waste his shit. So that was
Biggie wasn't about wasting nothing. I remember he was on Rap City. I forget what verse he spit on there, but it was some old shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Biggie, he didn't waste no verse.
All right, so the next song on here is Warning, produced by Easy Moby. Warning is another one of my, I think, that's in my top 3 as well for one of the best songs on this album. The storytelling on this shit is immaculate storytelling. Like when I first heard it, because it's great storytelling and it's easy to follow along. Like people like Lupe has great storytelling ability, for example, but it'll take some niggas months to unpack what Lupe is saying sometimes.
Yeah.
Big is like, it's simplified, but it's not, that doesn't diminish like the value of it. Like you can follow, like it's a very clear as day story that he's telling. Like niggas is trying to rob me. Niggas is looking at me like, you know, I'm getting
Who
money.
the fuck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawning. Now I'm yawning. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yo, this is my favorite song on the album, hands down.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Reg, but it's just God level bars, bro.
You do it one more time. I know where you at.
So, this is my favorite song off the album. And I love, you know, Biggie and Pop from the barbershop. Like, he plays two dual roles on the song, right? And he's taking us through the story, and you know that this is a dope song because this has been made into short film. Like
the beginning is the two guys trying to break into his house, right?
So but that's how he played the video. But like it's him. That's how the video plays. But there's actually my friend. He actually made a short story called Meet the Smalls, and I gotta find. I'm gonna send it to y'all later. And he replays the story, and it is so hilarious how he did it. It's a white guy did it with a white family, but it's just really, really good. And I just think like what Biggie was doing was God level as far as like rapping. Like he simplified it so everyone could understand it and get with it, but it was still like the best shit out.
Yo, every time I hear this track, I remember me on my way to Brownsville, because that's where I went to high school with. And like at that time, you know, Brownsville was, of course, crazy. You know,
at that time.
You know, you already know. So
crazy,
like this is definitely like a Brownsville track for me. This is just like y'all said, incredible storytelling. And it's so cool how like you can hear like Diddy in this at the end. Like the ending is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he plays both voices.
At the beginning, he's retelling a story as it's told to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even him telling the story in first hand. Like someone put him on, and now he's putting the listener on.
Uh-huh.
So that's also really cool too.
I remember we actually in my class, like when we would have downtime in my English class, my ninth grade teacher, Mr. Klass, he would put on different songs, different rap songs for us to like listen to and like.
Wait, Warning?
Yeah, he played Warning, and he played Warning, and he played Sky's the Limit, because he was like, yo, there's like layers to this type of storytelling, and he played Warning. And I just remember the whole class, like, it's gonna be a lot of slow singing. And
the flout bring it in.
Together, like, and he like stopped it and was like, "Do you know what he's insinuating?" We like, yes, bro, like we know, we know what he's fucking insinuating.
That line is iconic. Like even my dad, when I was a kid, he used to I used to hear him singing Biggie out loud.
It's my burger.
That was always that was the line.
Oh man. Like the whole song is it's literally a warning.
You see it in your head though. It's like you watching it happen in your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so easy to follow along. Classic.
What's that red dot on your head? Like,
shout out to Nikki for doing her version on this. I enjoyed Nikki's version. I was surprised. You know, it was good because I
what you talking about?
No, hey, I'm a Nicki fan, but okay. If the bombs are rocking, I'm a Nicki fan, okay? I'm just surprised that somebody actually did good with this beat.
Oh, and the sample for this is Walk On By Isaac Hayes.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So the next song is Ready to Die. Some deep shit on this one. Produced by Easy Bone B, of course.
I could do without this song.
So, wow. Okay. Remember they had
Eli ready to kill me.
Remember they had Biggie's behind the music, and they interviewed Will Smith for this. And I always thought about when Will gave his synopsis on the whole album, and he said, "This album is the plight of a teenage black kid in Brooklyn." And it always stood out to me because I always thought that, like. And at that time, like when I was younger, when I saw this, I thought Will was like corny, and I thought he was super out of touch. But for Will to understand that and say that, I was like, okay, maybe I need to like, you know, not be so judgy of Will and just think like he's some pop star. He is from West Philly, and he does understand certain things. So I was like, oh shit, like, and that just always stood out to me because that's exactly what this album is, especially the title track. And you know, like I said, being a black kid from Bed-Stuy at this time in the '90s, fresh off the crack era, like Biggie was really painting shit very clearly. So yeah.
For his age, especially.
Yes.
Yeah, especially for his age. The type of shit that he was already seeing is like just unimaginable. Like when I think about myself at 22, 23, I wasn't doing shit.
Well, that's because we're you know, he grew up.
I was working with y'all.
Like if the internet was as prevalent in Biggie's, you know, generation's life as our life, we would have never got this album.
You think so?
Yeah, you had like the kids actually played outside. They were actually in the streets, living life, experiencing things. Now, even if you live in a rough neighborhood, you can just stay in the house all the time.
But we still got Pop Smoke. We still get rappers that are like that.
You really gonna put Pop Smoke in this conversation?
No, what I'm saying is that he became a rapper. What I'm just saying is
obviously these kids become rappers, but they become rappers that just rap about like clout and material stuff. Like Biggie was telling his life story because he actually lived a life.
Okay.
These kids nowadays don't live.
I get what you're saying.
They don't
live that scary life. I'll tell you,
I think Sarah's right on that one, man. Because the way that Biggie's, again, man, just his skill level, you can't teach that. That is, you know what I mean? Like that's coded in you.
Right.
Like nobody has bars like Biggie ever at all. I don't care how great Cole, Kendrick, Drake are. They're not gonna come close. And that's no disrespect to them. It's just he's just different. It
didn't matter the beat. He was experimental. A lot of these rappers now, they find a pocket and they stay in it. All their beats are the same. They keep their sound, their subject matter. In that short amount of time, Biggie danced around and tried a lot of different things.
He absolutely did. Shout out to Puff for that.
Yeah.
Definitely shout out to Puff for that.
Puff will give you a classic album for sure.
Try until Puff forced it on him.
Absolutely.
I missed the last part. What you say, Sarah?
No, I said he even tried things that I don't even think he knew he needed to try. Like, because Puff was the one pushing stuff on him. Like, let's take the oldie songs and rap over them and stuff. And Big was probably like, what in the world? Like,
he wasn't with that.
Prime example of that is Juicy, but we'll get to that.
Another thing, like, Biggie was very paranoid, yo. Like, he was really paranoid. And it's weird to me because in his music, the things that he was rapping about, and then when you hear people talk about how Biggie was, it's always very interesting to me because they always say like he was like this really happy-go-lucky, bubbly guy. But then when you hear his song lyrics, you're like, this is a completely different person. And obviously both are can be like real things, right? But I just thought like the duality of that was really interesting to me, that he was such like a happy-go-lucky, fun-loving guy. But then he had these experiences and he was able to articulate it really well and really elegantly.
Yeah.
Oh, and sample for this one, Yes, I'm Ready by B. Mason.
Which is one of the most sampled songs ever. And none of the songs ever sound alike. Because that's also the same sample. That's the same song that I'm Ready by Diplomat samples.
Yes.
Like that song has been sampled so many times, but everyone picks a different part and makes a whole different like sound out of it.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know that actually. All right.
Killing Rob tonight, y'all. Killing him.
The next song is One More Chance. It's produced by Blues Brothers, Chucky Thompson and Diddy. All you know, calling it for my daddy, get off his dick.
As a young kid, I was always confused because I was like, wait, hold on. Because in my research for Biggie, right? After I listened to this album for the first time, I'm like, wait, he recorded like 2 to 3 different songs called One More Chance. Which one was it? Until I did my research and it was, different songs. So this one like always got me for a little, the intro of the like the woman on the voicemail. is incredibly hilarious to me, especially when, like, Shorty said, you don't even say shit to her. You know what I'm saying? All that bitches do is call me all day talking about you. Why the fuck Big don't want me? Beep.
I think my favorite one, my messiest one, the messiest message is the one from, I think her name was Keita. She was like, Kenya told me she saw you with Shani at the mall, and I know you ain't fucking her. You fucked with me last night. That's my best friend. And we don't like that. That's crazy.
And we don't get down like that.
That's crazy. Big was out here.
Yeah. Nah, I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, man. Diddy's ridiculously super talented, man. That guy's taste in music, his eye for talent, the way he's able to, I guess, like, sculpt an artist and mold them into a particular way. Like, he's gifted. He's truly gifted, man.
Agreed.
It's gonna be a sad day when Diddy's not with us anymore.
This is early.
What?
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't mean to take it into a dark place, but I'm just saying, man. Diddy's.
Nah, you
Why are we thinking about Diddy dying?
My fault. I'm sorry.
What the hell?
My fault.
Shout out to Diddy, man.
Protect Diddy. My fault.
Protect Diddy. Yeah,
protect Diddy.
Protect him from you. All right. So the next song, fucking Eli. The next song is you guys had any insight that you wanted to share on the Fuck Me interlude?
That was really Little Kim?
Yeah, that's the rumor. The rumor.
How?
Little Kim got busy in the studio.
So motherfuckers really just hit record button and that's it?
They kicked everybody out and they started fucking.
Well, okay, so maybe I'm confusing their skits, because I know there's a skit where it was really Kim and they were when they were recording. Maybe it was
Talking about another.
It was another that I'm thinking about, that they was recording and they were like really fighting and like really like it was like a real thing.
No, that was for her debut. I forget which song it was, but it was for her debut album, and it was a song where he was trying to get her to get the cadence, and they were already beefing about something. And Biggie went into the booth and like hemmed her up. I forgot what song it is. And then like everybody like saw it, and that's when a lot of people realized that Biggie and Kim was actually like having relations.
Yeah.
It's funny when you think about it, because you would think like, how the fuck could it not be obvious? But a lot of people really did mind their business and didn't know that Biggie and Kim was dealing with each other, and they didn't realize it until that moment when he hemmed her up in the booth.
Back then, it was a lot easier to mind your business because there wasn't social media and all that around. So a lot of things that had mystery behind them held that mystery throughout years until people opened their mouths.
And if you're hearing a new voice,
hey,
he always does that. Then he'll just come in, he'll pick up on what's going on, and he'll just start talking. He don't even introduce himself. But guys, that is that B-Less guy that just joined
up. What's up, guys? Sorry about that. The Iron Horse was a little crazy today.
Yeah, always. Fuck that shit. But yes, yeah. This is what we on now.
We up to the what?
Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
All Let's go.
The What features Method Man is produced by AZ Moby. These guys.
That's my favorites on the album.
You said what, Sarah?
That's one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah. You guys really go head to head on here, man. Lyrically, I don't know if Big thought it would be a walk in the park or if he underestimated Meth. But yeah, man. He had his work cut out for him, and I think he got bested.
Yeah, Method Man won.
My favorite song on the album. This is proof, more proof that I can back up why Method Man is my favorite Wu-Tang member, is because he's the only feature on this album, which says a lot to me. And as a youngin', I didn't realize it, but when I grew older, I was like, wow, I wonder why he was the only feature on there, because he could have. There we go, Taurian, the historian.
Well, number one, Method Man was hot as fucking fish grease at this time. He was the real sex symbol of hip hop. He was LL Cool J, but with street value. So women loved him. He was fresh off of the debut Wu-Tang album, and he was out of this fucking world. And
did this come before the Mary track, or this was after?
This was the same year.
Oh shit.
Also, I want to say, I think there was a period of time where casual fans, while I think Ghost and Ray were more prominent MCs and Jizza was a more prominent MC of the group, I think more casual listeners connected Wu-Tang to Method Man's face first and foremost.
Well,
I think there's a lot of people who didn't understand that how big the clique was and how deep they were, and that they had all their individual products. And like you said, because he was just this sex symbol of people, he stood out on his own, and a lot of time became the face for a lot of people who just didn't know better.
Yeah, well, you got to remember also, Meth was the first to have a solo record from Wu-Tang, and his solo record on the Wu-Tang album was their biggest song off that album. It wasn't Protection Neck, it wasn't Wu-Tang and Other People, it was the METH OD Man. So, yeah, like, he was the face. And for me, the fact that because I don't feel like Biggie has ever, like, not had the best verse when he's been on a song with other people or someone else. Only Method Man has, like, outdone Biggie on a track, in my opinion. I don't think Jay has done it. I don't think The Lox has done it. I don't think Mace has done it. I don't think anybody's done it besides Meth. I think Meth holds that crown. And that's why, like, there's other reasons why I give Meth his respect, but that's at the top of my list. That he held his own. And everybody in Wu-Tang always says it, like, when they're going to record and shit like that, they say Meth is always done first because he's always ready. His pen is always ready. So I think that's a huge testament to that.
Yeah, it goes to show. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
It goes to show when they did that whole documentary together, when they're all sitting down to watch together, Meth just starts flowing and freestyling right there on the spot. And I feel like he knows the criticism of his albums, solo albums, and compared to his peers on Wu-Tang. And I think it still provides that, I don't want to say chip, but that drive to keep rapping at the capacity he does at his age, because we've spoken on Late Breakfast before about rappers in a certain age bracket who have the capacity to still rap on all cylinders. And I think Meth is still one of those MCs at that level, at whatever age is he at.
I agree. I think he is too. I was reading up on him talking about making this song with Big and how kind of it was kind of in a weird place for him because Raekwon and Ghostface didn't like Biggie,
right?
And it was kind of, it put him in an awkward position, obviously, because like those is his mans. But he was saying, like, he did the track because he really fucked with Big. I think the first song he heard from Big was Me and My Bitch, and he really liked it. So it put him in an awkward position, but he said ultimately he did want to see Raekwon and Big work together, which would have been, that would have been insane.
Like, that probably would have been one of the greatest robbery songs ever.
Yeah.
Like, just hearing their now, like, it makes sense. That would have been so fire.
Bro, Lex Diamond and Frank White. Oh my God.
That really, and it would have made the East Coast a lot stronger too, and a lot of other things, I think, at the time.
Oh, but yeah, absolutely.
That we were truly robbed of that collab.
All right. So the next song we'll get into is Juicy. It's produced by Poke and Diddy.
Do we have to go through this?
I mean, it's on the album. It's one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time.
And we could just leave it at that.
No. Because look, we have to do our due diligence in our job. You can't bring up Juicy and just skip over it. There's a reason.
We're all pretty much going to say the same thing.
Yes.
Not really.
But
it's a standard song. Like, you have to like this. You don't have a choice.
It's not even that. It's literally probably the most known hip hop song of all time.
Ever. Yeah.
Like you have to give it its due justice, and also the fact that you have to give Diddy his acclaim for this, because Big didn't want to touch this beat at first either. Like, this is all Diddy's vision of what this should be and what to do. And honestly, like, bro, there's not a person between maybe 15, maybe even younger, maybe 12 to 45 that doesn't know this song, I feel like. Like realistically, unless you're really the whitest of the white in the hole in a wall or rural as fuck that you just didn't listen to hip hop at all in your life ever, you don't. But my mom knows this song. My mom's in her 60s. Like, this is just such an iconic song to music, period, especially when it comes to hip hop, that you can't just skip over, even though we're all tired of it because we heard it 100 fucking million 50 times.
And it never gets bad.
This is actually, I have a short list of songs that I will be okay with never hearing again. This is on it.
But it's just because of how much we've heard it.
I respect it though. Yeah, of course. That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
You had to say that. You had to like sneak that in, Regg. You got to sneak that forward.
This is
what?
Like, the reason why you would put that on the list. Like, you would have to like say that.
Well, yeah, the reason why is because I've heard it so much. It's in the hip hop.
It's the hip hop Sweet Caroline.
It is.
Yo, that's perfect.
Like, when you hear Sweet Caroline in a bar, you've been there way too fucking long and you need to go the fuck home.
Yeah.
I've heard it so much that, like, you know, it just is what it is. Another one well, we won't get into that, but Poison is another one that I'll never need to hear again.
So
I'll never get tired of Poison.
I said this 5 or 6 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
I said this, Regg. I said I never need to hear it again, and I said I never need to hear Poison again. Thank you, Regg. I knew you was my friend.
So this is funny because, you know, I'm a young kid. You know, I'm a young boy actually learning about music at a young old age.
You're not young.
Are you trying to call us old? The fuck did you say?
No. I was 14 when I was 13, 14 when I first heard this. Okay, come on.
And how old you thought we were?
15, 16.
No. We were definitely younger, but still, I just.
So I heard this version. I heard this song first, and then I heard Juicy later in life.
You mean
so? This is like really fun song to me.
You mean the original song, Juicy Fruit?
Yeah, Juicy Fruit. I heard Juicy Fruit after I heard this song, and it was like mad backwards.
I get that. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because when Puff first brought it to Biggie, Biggie wasn't feeling it. He was like, yo, what is this disco shit? Hey, I'm not, like, who do you think? I'm not Cool Mo D. I'm not rapping over no disco beat. But Puff had a vision, and Puff knew. The thing that Puff knew is Puff knew that consumers like being familiar with things. So if something was already a number one hit, it could be a number one hit again if you repackage it. And that's why Puff was able to start sampling and making remixes, because he knew the consumer would eat it up. That's why most songs that are remixes or remakes or samples usually do well on the charts, because it already did well on the charts. It already tested out that the masses respond to this. So it's kind of textbook, and it's kind of a cheat code, like, because I mean, you're already using a melody that already works. So it's like it's already embedded in some people's brains. People that are already fans of it, when they hear it, they'll just let it ride out because they already like Juicy Fruit. Then you got Biggie on it. Oh, it's like, oh, it's an updated version of a song that I liked from 10 years ago. So it just works. It's kind of a brilliant formula, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He abused the shit out that formula and made it work for him in the 90s.
What's your point?
He killed it.
I just said it was great. Relax, Danny. Jesus.
I just don't like your tone. I don't like your tone. Don't criticize it.
It unified generations.
Yeah.
He made it so that kids could listen to that music in the house without their parents being like, immediately turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that like goes to like Player Hater on his neck on Life After Death. You know, Player Hater, like my mom heard that. She was like, I'm singing along to it, and she's like, "What you know about that?" I'm like, "Huh?" And then my mom just comes out playing the original song, the "Lay Your Head Down." I forget how it goes, but anyway, yeah. But like that's how me and my mom connected at the time, and it just fucking it hit, and it completely connected generations, like she said.
All right, what's next, Regg?
My bad. So the next song is Everyday Struggle. Everyday Struggle. Another. I think I want to round out my top three because I did start off with naming my top three. But I don't know. This one is in and out of my top 3, I'll say. But Everyday Struggle is produced by Blues Brothers. Another really pivotal part of this album. That kind of ties. It starts to the second half of this album really ties together the overall idea of the album. And Everyday Struggle is amazing. Really, really well produced.
I like Everyday Struggle because he showed a tad bit of vulnerability, basically saying how he alluded to that him being ashamed of the lifestyle that he was living, being a drug dealer on the corner. Because it's not like he was some millionaire Tony Montana coke kingpin. He was selling crack, making money just to get by, and he was expressing that. And I thought that was really cool on this album that he did that. Like nothing on his first album was like glorified or him pretending that like he was more than what he was. He was really honest. Like he was like, yo, I'm basically just a street nigga that's willing to rob and do whatever to take care of my family. And that showed through and through. And then when he got money, that's when he made Life After Death. But this album is very much a meteoric rise of struggle, regret, and then later on, he talks about some kind of triumph, but not really.
Yeah. And it's very relatable when you're speaking as a young person who doesn't grow up with shit. Like, I grew up with my aunts buying me bootleg shit to get laughed at in fucking school, in elementary school. So like when he's talking about, I'm sewing tigers in my shirt and alligators. Want to see the inside? I'll see you later. Like, there's things that you relate to that there's very specific. And this is really a rags to riches ass song that like, yo, everybody has to struggle to get where they're going to be. And, I don't know if other people have had this, but there's times where you're out living on your own for the first time and you're at a young age when you're 20, 21. You don't know where your next meal's coming from. And like, it really is the everyday struggle. And like, this is even though this album came out when I was so young and I loved it when I was young, when I first turned 21, 23, and I'd been like out of my mom's house like 2 years, and like I was struggling, this song, this song specifically, but this album is like, all right, everybody goes through shit, and you're gonna rise to the top if you make it through the struggle, basically.
This second verse is a master class in not only hip hop but storytelling. This he not only I believe in 8 bars does he tell the first part of the story, but in the second 8 bars I believe he tells the second part of the story. Like incredible, like this is a masterclass in his storytelling ability. He literally tells one whole movie in one verse, 16 bars. This is incredible rhyming. I want to say this is one of his greatest verses of all time, because for him to tell a whole entire story that is literally like a movie or probably like 5 seasons of a TV series in one verse is incredible. I personally haven't. I don't think I've heard another verse like this in hip hop. That's just me. I don't listen to every single song in that's ever been made, but that's just me. This is a masterclass in storytelling.
Agreed. And like I said, like it makes the second half of this album even that much stronger and mean that much more. We'll get into the next song. The next song is Me and My Bitch, features Diddy. It's produced by Diddy, Chuck Thompson, and Blues Brothers. The song with the famous opening lines, the opening lines that makes a lot of people want me. Yeah.
Fire reference. It's from Richard Pryor.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of people, but see, like
I don't care where it's from. That's the one line I don't rap with this song.
A lot of people don't understand the reference is actually from a Richard Pryor stand-up when he's like, oh, like Pop, this bitch was bad. This bitch was fun. This bitch was so bad. And then like, he says a line.
Well, I'm not gonna die if y'all say it.
20 from 30 years from now, they won't understand it.
No, my grandfather's gonna come choke me from the dead.
Hold on, he said, girl, you look so good, I'm sucking your daddy's dick. So it was just a reference from that stand-up. And it was basically saying, yo, this girl is so fine, like, I gotta thank this nigga for making you.
I really hope that makes the promo.
It won't.
Years from now, kids won't understand where this reference is from. And even if they get it, the reference, they'll still not want to accept this. Just saying. Just saying.
Hold on real quick. So some of you guys met my boy James, not James E. My friend James, his mom was one of, like, she was a stylist at Uptown Records, and then she went with Puff and Biggie when they went to Arista and they started Bad Boy. Well, when Puff started Bad Boy, and she was very close with Biggie, and she's actually featured on the song. She's the woman talking in the song with Biggie, and she's featured on it. So shout out to Aunt Sybil. She's featured on it, and she's very, like, prominent in the early days of Bad Boys. Styled Total. She also styled Puff a lot and styled Biggie and everybody like that. But she was really, really close with the girls of Total and helped style them and do a lot of things with them. And she styled other artists as well, and now she works in the film industry as a stylist. Shout out to Aunt Sybil.
Wow, that's what's up.
But yeah, no, the first line doesn't take away from how classic this song is. It's a great.
It's not.
Also, one other thing. Me personally, this version isn't my favorite. My favorite version is a live version that he did on the show with Puff. Like, that's like my.
I don't think I heard that one.
And it's over, and he's rhyming over Computer Love.
Yeah, you've heard that. Everybody's heard that.
Oh my gosh. I thought that I never. Wow.
His pace of rapping and everything. When I met you, I was.
Yeah, I haven't heard that in so long. I thought that was like a DJ who just, like, did the vocals over it. I didn't know that was like
a live performance.
No, that's the actual performance. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yo, what do you prefer? Actually, this question's for Julius. What do you prefer? This song, Me and My Bitch, or do you prefer 96 Bonnie and Clyde?
Please give me this.
That's a disgusting comparison.
Please give me this song. That is a disgusting comparison.
Why?
I'm taking
two very different songs. One song he's talking about a gun completely the entire time, and one's an actual relationship.
And even though Tupac is one of my favorite rappers of all time, I'm taking a big song over a Pac song 10 for 10.
I'm also taking any big song over a Pac song ever in life. So,
facts.
I just wanted some smoke for Julius. That's all.
You still can say what song is better though.
Yeah, which song is better?
We know what song's better.
Not the Pac song. Hello.
Duh.
All right, I just wanted you to say that.
Come on.
You don't think Pac's version is better?
No, Pac's version. I'm a big Pac stan. Like a stan. I stand for Pac.
It's okay. Nobody's perfect, Julius.
Exactly. Relax. But I know when, listen, I know Pac's strong suits, I know his weak suits, and
all of them.
I just wish that there was a CD quality version of him rapping over the Computer Love sample, not live. Like, I actually wanted to record it. I wish that there was a version of that. I don't know. Maybe I can, like, see if I can ask James to, like, take those vocals and put it over Computer Love for me, because him rhyming over Computer Love was fucking back.
All right, so the next song was actually Big Papa. Oh man, this is a song I'll never get tired of. It's produced by Chuck Thompson and Diddy, with the sample from T. You want to give us that sample?
The sample is Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers.
Yeah. And the way they did that shit, this was, and this single was a big deal overall because Biggie wasn't making music like this at the time. This is when he really stepped into that whole, like,
player
image that did.
This
shit is just smooth. Like, no matter when it comes on,
it was sexy music.
Yeah, it's just smooth as fuck. Like, it works.
This is one of the most fun songs to rap along to ever in life.
Yeah.
Like there's just like a cool that comes over you. Like no matter how hype you are, you get into your cool stance. This isn't a rap aggressively song. This is everybody relax, enjoy the vibe, and just rap along with it and enjoy the fucking finessing of a flow.
I just people are from behind.
Ask you what your interests are.
Who you be?
Who you be with? Oh,
Yeah.
He took.
As a reformed fat man, I really appreciate this song.
He took being an overweight guy to another level. Like Heavy D was out before a lot of us were like, you know, of age and shit like that. But Heavy D really was doing what Biggie was doing. But Heavy D was on some like dancing shit and everything like that. And he was light skinned, you know, light skinned in the 80s.
That man could move.
Right?
Pause.
So yeah, he could. So when Biggie came out, like Puff already knew exactly what to do with him because he saw everything that worked with Heavy D. So he was like, so Puff has so many examples of like things that already worked, and like he had like cheat sheets, yo, because he knew what to do. Like he was like, I bet you if Heavy D didn't dance and was more gangster, he probably would still be like he was making music at this time, but like he had already peaked, he already reached his height. So what he did with Biggie was amazing, and women was eating it up because as we've heard multiple stories, like Biggie had no problem bagging women, like. He started it off with all the ladies in the place with styling, grace. That was that was so smooth to say some shit like that. Just dope, man.
I want to interview Diddy one day, and I want to ask him. So when you and Biggie came up with a verse, right? Why did you question yourself not shooting up the place?
I see what you're saying.
I think that's just so. I've seen that question a bunch of times. I think that's just that was just
Shine who shot up the place.
That was just to lead into Biggie's next line. I don't think that was to literally ask him like, "Yo, why you don't want to shoot this shit up?" I don't think it was for that.
I think so. I think so. And we can't forget Diddy's famous. Hey, ladies, tell your friends to meet my friends. We can all be friends. That's of course, that's the biggest classic.
Oh yeah,
because that shit's actually worked retardedly. Like it just you don't expect it to. It's one of those lines you say just being an idiot, and when it works, you're like, oh shit,
oh shit,
oh shit. Women straight out of their drawers.
That shit worked. Like I was like, wait, really?
All right, so. Next song is Respect. Respect features Diana King. It's produced by Trackmasters and Diddy.
And it has a sample from the sample is "I Get Lifted" by George McCrae. It's really dope on this album because like a lot of people don't know Biggie's Jamaican. I really, in my whole heart, think if Biggie would have stayed with us, we would have got more dancehall songs from Biggie, big time. Because I really think that Biggie probably would have definitely taken a trip to Jamaica. After Life at the Death, he was definitely going on like a vacation because all the money that he probably would have been making and like just chilled out there and shit. Like, not made a Snoop Lion album, but like he definitely would have made an album more dancehall influence. Like he would have gotten in his roots and did something. Like. I absolutely think so. I think Biggie would have given us more music with that Caribbean feel, and he would have gotten to that pocket with no problem as well. Like oh man.
I always thought it was interesting that he picked a song like this with this type of element to unpack like basically his journey, like him being born, everything like that, like because it doesn't give you that vibe, but he goes into that pocket. That's the vibe he goes into. It's raw, man. I really fuck with this song.
I always feel like Biggie was a real like he took a real old school approach to making his music, where his raps was already written, but he was so good with wordplay, he was able to make his cadence fit the beat. Like he really understood that, and like you can tell because he had a lot of raps that he would just freestyle on any beat, and then it would be on the album. So I think Biggie was really good at that. Like Biggie was one of those rappers who would come up with a rhyme with no beat, and then they would present it to him, and he would just figure out a way to make it fit.
Yeah, that's a whole last talent that a lot of rappers themselves don't have. Just to have a verse on deck ready to to go at any time, and I think that's lost. And now at times, I think a lot of times now, artists rely on the beat a lot more to formulate their flows as opposed to creating a flow within the beat, which a lot of what we grew up on it is, and a lot of Caribbean shit is, and Big exhibited it here. So I think the fact of creating your own pocket within stuff is really what separates the true artist and such. And when we do see that in the newer school, it reminisces of this, which makes us take more of a liking too and more of a shine too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, question, right? We're on Respect. So that was actually Faith Evans.
Where?
We're on Respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who was? This is gonna sound wild, but who was sucking Biggie's dick at the end of that record?
Definitely wasn't Faith.
Okay, on Genius,
clear
it says
Faith
Faith.
was not fucking her husband.
On
Everybody else was.
On Genius, it says it was Faith Evans.
Do they?
That's what it says. Faith Evans.
That's crazy.
That's what it says.
Read what it says.
It's really not that crazy.
Because I don't be doing this. I'm saying, it ain't nothing. It's a part of sex. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do this. I don't even know how to do this. It says Faith Evans in the skit. So I want to know if it was real, if it was fake.
I mean,
so what? I doubt it was real, honestly.
I don't think it was real.
I don't think it's real. I think it's a skit for the fucking album. That's it.
That now we have a Lil' Kim skit earlier in the album. That is real.
It was just messy. Mind your business. He wasn't talking to you.
Mind your business.
Big was messy.
Yeah. That's them and their Jesus business, and that's that.
All right. Well, with the messiness, we'll carry it into Friend of Mine. Friend of Mine is produced by Easy Moby. Very problematic song.
I was gonna say, talking about messy and problematic.
Yeah, he's just talking about, he got hurt before, and he's not about to let it happen again.
And he'd like to share experiences with his friends as opposed to being greedy.
Yeah, experiences is a good word. So how do we feel about this song?
Classic.
Beautiful, toxic masculinity music. Like, you cannot purchase this toxicity anymore. This is extremely beautiful, poetically anti-woman music. This is like really, really good stuff. Like when he says, now when I'm fucking off gin, I'm invincible. Don't love no hoe, that's my principle. Cause chicks come and chicks go. That's why I get my nut and I'll be out the fucking door. Like, wow, that is very harmful to women, but over a good beat, it sounds good.
Well, this is definitely a man scorned by being cheated on by a woman with his best friend.
And it's over. The lyrics are horrible, but
there's a message.
There's a message, and underneath it, this is how good Big is. Underneath these lyrics are hurt, and underneath it is trauma.
That cheating on a man with his best friend can create a toxic human being.
And also a good song. Sorry,
great song.
It's very true.
Sorry, Sarah.
The samples are Vicious by Black Mambo and Spirit of the Boogie by Kool in the Game.
Okay. All right, so.
Because these are the songs I skip.
You said what?
I said I'm quiet because these are the songs I skip.
Really? I mean, well, okay, so I understand this one.
I would definitely understand this one, Sarah. I hate myself for enjoying this one. Trust me. I love women.
It's not because the content. I love misogyny with good rhythm.
Okay,
I just throw some misogyny over.
That's definitely got to make the cut. I love misogyny over a good beat.
All right, so we'll get into the next song. Next song is Friend of Mine. No, sorry, we just went over Friend of Mine. Mm-hmm. The next song is Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Produced by DJ Premier.
Primo
played this in his 20, right?
He did.
I think so, yes.
Primo's he's very, very proud of the song.
Yeah.
He should be.
Fortunate that this song has a sample from an artist that we will no longer name.
It's R. Kelly.
They all bleeped out as soon as she said it too.
I love that though.
You have to, but you have to though. You gotta mention him, man.
I prefer the radio freestyle version when he did this. It was just, I don't know why I prefer it. I guess it's because of the beat. But that radio freestyle version, I think it was with Funk Flex. It really, really stood out more to me.
I agree. Because all right, so I have a problem, and I hate this, and a lot of 90s and a lot of rappers do it now today. I hate when freestyles end up on songs, especially when they go big. It's like I understand you don't want to give everything away for free, but fuck that. I felt like certain people, when you hold at an MC caliber, stop being fucking pussy and let them bars go. Stop. If I don't want to hear this, if you spat it and you know it went hot, and I get it because back then a lot of freestyles. Like I have family who never heard the whole when Rockefeller or the Locks went on Funkmaster Flex and were just rapping at each other for hours at a time. You know, so I get that it's very regional. Also, that a lot of people maybe didn't hear it, and I guess also we're lucky because our generation we've been able to have that shared so many times. But I just hate that shit when rappers fucking spit the same bar they freestyle on a radio show or something.
Yeah,
I don't like it either. Kanye used to do that a lot.
A lot of the great MCs that we have right now, they've done it in the past too. Like Jadakiss has done it.
Jay's done it.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people. I'm with Danny on this one. I just hate hearing it, but now more than ever, you hear it from a lot of the new acts that are coming. They do that more and more all the time. They even bring in their own beat.
It doesn't
it's crazy.
But it doesn't bother me.
Like kids don't freestyle the way they used to.
Okay, we got you.
It doesn't bother me because sometimes like some of the freestyles over here are really good, and it's like, yo, I know this is a freestyle, but I need to make some money off this shit. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me. Like I'm okay with it, especially with Biggie. Like that nigga didn't waste the rap. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
He didn't waste the fucking bar, bro.
No, he didn't. It's a personal take as I guess a person who used to rap or whatever. Like it's just a personal thing. Like nah. Every time you say freestyle, I want something new, and I don't want to hear it again.
Well, I mean, it was a freestyle, and then he put it on wax because it was so good.
Get it? I just didn't want to hear it again after he freestyled it.
Okay, so next song we're gonna get into is "Suicidal Thoughts." "Suicidal Thoughts" is produced by Lord Finesse. Wow.
I'm a piece of shit. Yeah.
Wow.
It's my favorite song on the album.
Mine too.
Fuck it, I wanna go to hell.
Hell.
On the original song, all right. So shout out to my resident bully from childhood, Larry. When I was younger, I listened to this album with him. It was his album, and he played it for me. And this was the last track of the album. Fuck JR, fuck you up. And I really, really was like, yo, this is the last song of the album, and like, I'm like, he kills himself, like he does it. Like I thought that was crazy because I was like, but why? Like he's famous. Like I feel like he really off himself. So like hearing this song and like hearing like how intense the lyrics were was something else. Like I didn't expect that for the story to end that way. So that was just really like taking aback for me.
I think it was important for the story to, well, obviously the story would still be itself if he didn't include that, but it ties into everything he talked to, all the subject matter. You can't go through all this crazy, heavy stuff, your mom having cancer, growing up in the hood, having to decide between being a drug dealer or a basketball player, like all these big issues, and then sit here and like, it's very honest. It's like, it's not surprising that made him feel suicidal. Like, I think it was, And I think for a young man, to express that on an album,
this time,
I know it meant a lot to a lot of other young men listening to it.
Songs like this always bother me because it's like we've had songs like this for a long time,
right?
And then you got people that are always complaining about emo rap, like, you know, why are you talking about suicide this? Why are you talking about suicide that? Like XX, what's his name? Joe Budden, like these guys that be caping that type of music, and they be over here talking about like, nah, I'm the guy who did this. I'm the guy who first did this. Where it's just like, no, not really. This has been going on in music for a super long time. You know what I mean?
think also the way that Biggie went about it, it's hard. I know it doesn't make sense. It's contradictory to say that a song about suicide wasn't sad or depressing, but it almost wasn't. It's real. Like, I didn't take pity on him listening to it.
Yeah. Because this shit goes hard. It comes off like therapy.
Yeah, it comes off like therapy, and it also comes off like he just was very at peace and realistic about where his thoughts were, and it didn't sound like they were really weighing down on him. It just sounded more like he was just acknowledging them.
Yeah.
Like, times.
Exactly. It sounded like he was venting, and we just happened to be there. It sounded it literally just sounded like a phone call to his fans. Like, yo, like I'm at my wit's end. I just need you to hear me out. And like, these gentlemen here have all heard me on the phone, call them from one time or another at the same point in my life. Like, yo, I'm at wit's end. I'm about to lose it. Like, I just need somebody to hear me out.
But he wasn't making it his identity. Whereas Joe Budden, these other emo rappers, they make sadness their identity.
That's true.
Sad song. These dudes are just like.
And also, but this also is the perfect ending for where he comes back, because he already knew where he wanted to come back with life after death.
Right.
And it starts bringing his ideas full circle.
Yep.
Yes, we needed this in order to fully appreciate where he went to. With life after death after this. Like this whole thing is I feel like it's a metamorphosis of Big, like being this person, getting that moment. This is his cocoon. He's ready to die. And by the time he came out for Life After Death, it's literally him being like the butterfly and having this whole.
He had that kind of foresight and that cohesiveness between his projects is really impressive. That he knew that that's where he wanted to take the story. That it was kind of the death of the Biggie he grew up as and he knew that his life was never going to be the same. So he didn't mean literal death, but he just meant that he was going to be experiencing some kind of rebirth. Yeah. And he was aware of that. He was very self-aware.
To be so young,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This is the perfect setup to the next album. Like, how do you set up like in this song, how do you set up for the next album? Life After Death is like, that's incredible. Being that this is the first song that we hear previously on Ready to Die, like this is a beautiful song. This is like beautiful. Whoever was like the executive producer on this was incredible. The fact that they put this on Life After was incredible. And it was just, this is amazing. This is amazing setup. This is how you know you have a beautiful team behind you. This is how you know you are going to go places and be a legend. And he is. Incredible setup. Incredible setup.
Shit, I couldn't have said it better myself, bro. It's definitely a great setup. I mean, the way that it ends with like Diddy in a panic, like, hey yo, Big, like you know, all that shit is so cinematic. Like, it's great. It's the cherry on top, man.
I really wish that Tarantino. I wish that Biggie lived long enough to work with Quentin Tarantino.
That'd have been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
Wow.
Wait. What song would he have directed?
The whole album.
The entire album as a score. Like, the album would be a score, and he would do the entire project.
Absolutely. That'd have been crazy.
That would be pretty fucking incredible.
I can see that. All right, so Wait, this isn't the end of this.
Suicidal Thoughts is the original album. Suicidal Thoughts is the ending, but the re-release version has
Who Shot Ya and Just
Dreams. Yeah, but I think
we could let's talk about Who Shot Ya though.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about Who Shot Ya.
About that. There's a lot to unpack with that.
So there's a story that Biggs always tells about Jay-Z, that when Jay-Z was recording Reasonable Doubt, like Biggs was like Jay's hardest critic. Like he wasn't sold on Jay, so he said that when he got Who Shot Ya early, he said that he let Jay listen to it and Jay stole it from him because Jay wouldn't stop listening to it. Like Jay would just sit in the car and listen to it over and over and over. And like Jay was really like, yo, I really gotta get on this cat's level. And Biggs was like, yo, this nigga's younger than you. What you talking about? He shot both from Brooklyn because, you know, uptown, we think Brooklyn is like some small neighborhood, but it's huge. So Jay was so like, it put the battery in Jay's back to really step his lyricism up. And I just think that's dope. And obviously, people thought that he was taking a shot at Pop because, you know, when Pop got shot, but Little C said that this song was recorded before that all of that happened. It just happened to be a coincidence. But Biggie would perform this, and some people would not be happy when he did it.
Man, this song, I mean, it's besides all the behind the scenes shit of it, it's just a really good fucking song. Really good.
It's just bars. It's just that gritty New York. I'm the king of New York, and I'm gonna get this shit off. I'm gonna get this like
when he comes on, like the beat is knocking. I need that mic up though. Turn that shit the fuck up. Like that energy, like I love that shit. Like
I think the main source of New York rap, the main thing that defines New York rap is a sense of glitz, glamour, but grime. And there's everything in that encompasses in it. You don't feel safe throughout the record, but at the same time, you want to keep listening. Like you still feel like you're the man. It's just like this shit is amazing too to listen to right before going to workout. You take your pre-workout to this shit, and you get hyped right before the gym for this shit.
Oh, I need that.
Man, and then that second verse is just like this whole song is just excellent rapping. I seen the light excite all the freaks, stack mad chips, spread love with my peeps. Like it's just, man, it still gives me chills. Like it's just bars, bro. And then the beat is just so eloquent. Like it's just great. The beat sounds like on some. I mean, the title of the song poses a question, and the beat sounds like it's on some mysterious shit. Like it makes it a mystery. Like it's just perfect, man.
Nah, it doesn't make it a mystery to me. Like on that song, he's letting you know exactly who shot you. Like there's no room for like questioning. It's obviously the guy spitting this shit is who shot you.
But no, I'm saying my point in that is like the beat plays into the title of the song.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, excellent shit. Like, I mean, if I was Pac, I would have felt the way too. Like it was just bad timing. Like even if it wasn't about Pac, like how Big was saying, like it was just bad timing for it to come out. Like the nigga Pac was paranoid as fuck.
Nobody told him to get shot.
Imagine being paranoid and then hearing this song. Like it's like, yo, it's like
come on, Danny.
It's like
he's still alive in Cuba, all right? I don't want to hear that shit.
No, he's in Malaysia. That's what Suge's son said.
All right, fine.
Tupac is in Malaysia. All right. Next song, you guys want to get into Dreams? Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Off the whole industry with this one. You know, he tried to apologize.
It's a horrible song.
What?
It's not a horrible song.
Are you serious?
Julius.
Are you serious? It's a horrible song.
You don't have Dreams, Julius?
Not about Raven Simone calling date rape.
I mean, you're right.
So listen, I apologize to Tiny and Candy from Escape. The night that he died, he tried to apologize to them, and they wouldn't accept his apology. And like they've spoken about how like they feel really fucked up that their first and last time meeting Biggie was Biggie trying to be sincere and be like, yo, I was just rapping, like, you know, I'm sorry, like, be cool. And they basically was like, fuck out of here.
The name of the song is called Just Playing.
Bro, make Raven Simone call date rape. Really? You're gonna defend that?
This is a disclaimer. It was the 90s and it was a rap song, and we're not gonna focus on that. We're not gonna hone in on that.
Julius, were you this outraged when you heard it back then?
No, I love the song.
You gotta keep in mind.
I love the song back then, but now I'm an adult.
Keep in mind.
Now that's never stood out. Like, so you pointed it out. Even listening before, I didn't on the re-listen. I didn't catch that. You're right. You're completely right. That's
what I'm saying. So I'm not invalidating what you're saying, but I'm saying when you're visiting these albums and the shit that's bad, that one line, as bad and awful as it is, for me doesn't fuck up the whole song.
I'll put Shantae Moore pussy in stitches.
I mean,
that's
just an overly dramatic way of describing how he would fuck her.
How many Lil Wayne I beat the pussy up bars do you rap along with, Julius?
Lil Wayne got
there's too many.
All of them.
All right then.
But really, come on, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Back then it was a great song, but now I would not hear anybody rap this out loud.
I follow you on Twitter, Julius.
Don't stand next to me.
I don't talk about putting women's pussies in stitches.
They asking for it on songs.
Do you know that you can actually...
You not know what the number one song in the country is right
Bro.
now?
WAP.
Yeah, exactly.
Or as I like to call it at this point, the FAP.
So is that song not the number one song in the country where Cardi asked to have her shit beat up? Julius?
She wanted that dangly thing in the back of her throat, a.k.a. the uvula.
Listen,
to be...
Beat up versus stitches is two completely different things to me.
I've seen niggas get beat up and have to get stitches.
It's actually called the uvula.
Sometimes sex gets rough and things happen, and that doesn't even mean that it was a bad situation.
As long as it's consensual, it's fine, bro.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, as long
the Nicki version, which I also enjoy.
I give it to y'all. Y'all are right. As long as it is consensual and it's not date rape.
Yes.
I wonder, every time when people revisit songs, do they have to say, "Oh, this wouldn't fly now"? I mean, yeah, it was back then though. It's not.
I have a lot of those moments now, re-listening to shit, and I'm like,
yeah, but we don't have to say it. We don't have to say it every time. Come on, because we listen.
No, not every time. It's just.
So that's a rule.
I feel like we're gonna get attacked if we don't point it out. So
exactly, we have to point it out. That Raven Simone line was kind of wild, man.
There's still mad shit that be flying on record to this day that people be saying some wild shit.
Yeah, but we don't have to point it out every single time.
Elon loves that shit too.
It's our responsibility.
We're here to review, not be the police.
I know, but people are going to look at this video and listen to this podcast and say, "Why didn't they bring it up?"
But you brought up the verse. We didn't even bring up the Raven Simone verse.
And if we were talking about the song, we should have talked about the bar.
We don't have to. I don't think that every single time we have to. We can just be like, "Yo, it was a good song." He upset a lot of people. Said he was just playing. It was a play on words.
He named the song "Just Playing," and no one really.
It's just like 50 Cent making a song "How to Rob." He didn't really want. Did he really rob any of them niggas?
Nope.
No, he didn't.
But they all felt the way.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
Okay. I will remember that.
Go ahead and remember it, Julius. I don't say inappropriate shit online, and I'm not.
No. I know you don't.
Until we get to watch him.
I know Taurian doesn't. Taurian is clean. I've checked his status.
I don't like where this is going, Julius.
I'm saying
Taurian just be talking about Target all day.
I've checked his tweets. He's good. He is really good. I'm just saying.
Mind your business, Julius.
I am minding my business. I'm by Bow Out.
Let's get
about
out
to
of
go on a deleting spree.
So let's get to the rating. What's everybody's ratings on this album? 0 out of 5 waffles.
Listen, the whole pack of waffles. The whole my ego box.
Whoa! Somebody didn't give it a 5. What is going on? I need to know what's going on. Please, somebody who gave us the 3, please tell me what is going through your mind. I can't comprehend this right now.
I give it a 4.5.
All right, yeah.
The person who, oh, okay. I saw three. I saw 3 fingers. I saw 3 fingers. I saw 3 fingers.
Yeah.
So what is it, like a 4.9 waffles?
Nah.
This is a perfect album.
Yeah, like what I voted, but yeah, I'm a Life After Death fan, and
I was gonna say that's a perfect album. This one.
Okay.
I enjoy both albums very, very much, but this album for me, This album for me, there's certain songs like even though like I can listen to the album all the way through, there's certain songs that I never need to hear again or I don't need. And the remix versions I prefer better than some of the original versions. So like that's why where it's like I can find things wrong with the album. So I'm like, all right, 4.5, that. So I just take away a half a point of it being a classic. But the vote here, I'm outvoted. Like it is we have to give it a classic rating because of the number of classic votes that it got. But I just wanted to make that statement clear. I think Life After Death is a perfect rap album, and I think Life After Death is a more impressive rap album because of the double disc. They would make a double disc album classic. I think that is so hard.
It's definitely a better album. It's definitely a more impressive album, but I don't think the fact that it is should take away from the original being considered a classic.
Okay, understood.
I think so. I agree with that. I think this album, like I said at the top of this, like you see his development as a rapper in the same album, and that's always been so impressive to me. I think just having the foresight to make an album like this leading into your sophomore album, already at least having an idea of what you want to do with your next album when you on your first album is impressive as fuck. And the stories on this are heavy. You got hits on this. You got introspective shit on this. You got growth stories on this. It's a classic for me. Like there might be like 1 or 2 dips, but that's it. Like it's a classic. So I was naming my top 3 on this album. So I said Warning. I said Give Me the Loot. My actual third one would have to be, I want to say is Everyday Struggle, because that gives you the overall feeling of this album. So yeah, those are my top 3 on this album.
Classic album.
Classic.
First rap album I've ever, this is the first rap album I've ever heard, so like I really hold this album near and dear to my heart. This is what introduced me to hip hop, and I fall in love with this album. I literally didn't even have to hear this album before this podcast because I just know it from my heart.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel. Like I didn't have to re-listen. I did, and I was like I still listen to this album regularly enough.
Yeah,
the same thing.
A lot of these songs on the gym playlist.
Yeah, like my top 3 is gonna be number 1, Suicidal Thoughts, The What, and Everyday Struggle.
For me, it's The What, Warning, and Big Papa. Those are my 3 favorite songs of the album.
Yeah.
All give you all 3 different sides of Biggie and everything.
Yeah. I like Dark Struggle Biggie. I like when Biggie got dark and
Danny,
where he touched.
We know it's your style, Danny. Dark and stormy.
No wrong.
Word on brand.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up, Regg. Take us home.
Okay, so this has been an episode of Rap in Order. Thank you for joining us. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
And we are out of here. Peace.
Say
what? When I met you, I admit my first thought was a trick. Hands in the air. Bam, 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 bam.